Also need to talk to you after this, Slavsky, about a situation, but not right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, guys, we're just testing something here in a minute. Give me a minute to get everything started up, and we'll start. No, I'm gonna put CPU versus. That's what I always do. No, I don't want the Boston Bruins against the All Stars. That's a little jaded. We're gonna do today Black All Stars versus Green All Stars to start. It's kind of a little even matchup. Kind of see how it goes. And Slavsky, Eichel says he loves you. By the way. Okay, well, welcome to a special edition of VPHA tonight. I am the Gator, and I'm still hacking up along. So, first off, I just want to apologize if you hear me hacking up along. But let's start with some of the things that I know you guys are looking forward to. The season does start today. And as we do start the season, we're doing everything we can to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. Now, I'll be the first one to kind of ramble on and tell you that we're going to try everything we can, but we expect there to be a couple of little hiccups here and there. With that being said, I kind of want to make it public about what has happened with the Boston Bruins. Now, I personally believe in why is hold on, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties with this. Um, I believe in making things public. I'm not going to hold anything back from the league in the sense of events that occurred, things that have occurred, everything that's happened. Okay, and I'm going to go and make it public so everyone knows why King Flips and Smitty were removed. Pretty much, and just to put it, I'm not going to go word for word and explain every little instance of it, but the basic gist of it, guys, is that Boston was using another team's roster and camp to manipulate trades to enhance their own roster. The perfect example of what I'm going to say to this is if I'm trading you a player 1-for-1, or let's say 2-for-1, they were dictating that another team would need to get this player or another person to be involved before any trade would go through. This to me is the worst form of tampering in a league that I can recall. So with that being said, that's why King Flips was removed. We had to take a TC from everyone's team's roster to make Boston functional. Now, I'll be honest, it was a little touch and go for a while. I would like to thank Valorous Mortal for stepping up with Jay Mosher, and they're going to run the team now. I'll be honest, we've already explained to them the expectation of what, is expected as owner and general manager. And I'm going to be honest, I think they're going to do very well. With that being said, I want to go through first off, before we even go into phone calls today, I want to go to power rankings for the teams. Now, I'm not going to do a goon squad. You guys suck. This guy sucks. This guy sucks. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pretty much go through what I think based off what I saw in the preseason and what I saw just what I see in the rosters as well. You know, when you look at things with the rosters and you look at who's got the most stacked rosters, I'm not going to go by conference. I'm going to go by who I think has the best team. And I'm going to go with the top 5. I'm not going to go below 5 because it's not fair to the people who are in the bottom 5. Or bottoms, should I say, bottom half. So I could say top 6. I'll go top 6. How does that sound? All right. At number 6, and I'm going to go from bottom to top. At number 6, I'm going to go with the Arizona Coyotes at 6. The reason I'm going to do that is because, honestly, I talked to Trevor the Wise. This guy, under the radar, is assembling a team that he knows. Honestly, they're going to be a team, I think, that's going to surprise some people, and I'm going to say they may be a dark horse in the West. When you have Pushy Lace on your roster, Mr. Shell, Yodes, Nickel, who's a nasty goalie, and then you add Matt to the mix, and then you even have Playmaker 7, Gilmore, and Pitcher, who's a decent center, in your TC, you're loaded. Now, they have Strictly Hatties and AGM, which I'm very familiar with. He's an explosive winger, and will score goals and put up assists. So, with that being said, they definitely have the ability to be there at the end. My question is, more than anything, how does the D hold up on this team? Nickel's very good and can cover up a lot of mistakes. I need to see, besides Pushy Lace, who's that second D-man that steps up? I've heard Maverick 715 is decent. So let's see what happens overall with Arizona. And right now I'm trying to call up the Twitch link so I can kind of pull everything up. I'm having some minor technical difficulties, but nothing I can't handle. Let me see. All right, at number 5, this is a team that's near and dear to my heart. Not because of, any affiliation I have with them, but more because a lot of these players are very good in my opinion. At number 5, I'm going to go with the LA Kings. The Kings, to me, are a dark horse as well. McKay runs a very good squad. The only question I have with this team is depth. Eichel 9's are going to score goals. I know I've ragged on Eichel in the past, but, he is a good player. Emery's a solid goalie. Arcaro is probably a top 5 D-man in the league. Corms is very good. And Pesh is decent. So, I see a lot of good things from this squad. I think, to me, the only thing that I think this team lacks is maybe another D-man. Maybe one more big D-man on the roster. With Darth Knight and Stalinovsky as the management, I think they're solid up there as well. So I think that LA would, to me, is power ranking number 5. Let's see, number 4. Why do I hear myself on my TV? I don't have any of these streams running. Okay. All right. At number 4, and I'm just looking to make sure I don't make a mistake and snub anybody. Yeah. At number 4, I'm going with the St. Louis Blues. When you look at their roster, Karuch is a solid D-man. Ziplocs, Epic Pig, and Epic Platypus are a solid management team. Pisa Romo is decent. Stay Sideways is a good defenseman. And, they have a very good group of players when you look at it. They also have a decent TC, so, I see them doing very well overall. And I'll be honest, guys, when it comes to my power rankings, I don't want anyone to take it personal. There will be one major snub that I'm going to say right now, but I have my reasons for it, and I'll kind of explain it once I'm done. Okay, so that was St. Louis's number 4, correct? All right. At number 3, I'm putting the Tampa Bay Lightning at 3. The reason being, and here's my honest reason for putting them 3 and not higher is because Category 5 availability is not good to begin the season. If Category 5 was playing the whole season, this team's a number 1 team, right? Period. I don't care what anyone has to say. Montreal's very good. But would you put that guy in the net, hell breaks loose. No one's going to score. I don't care. Guys might think I'm being exaggerating, but I seen that dude make 35 saves in a game and not even flinch. So they have a decent roster. If you look at it, Shadowlack has been promoted to AGM and is in my opinion, their top defender. Julian's a very good defender. Resnick will put up points. McKnight's another solid defender. Czech's a good winger. Manship just been picked up as solid as well. So, I see a bunch of good players on this roster. I see them doing well overall. The question is to me, there were grumblings with everything about okay. But there were grumblings about Tampa Bay, about, Smith retiring and everything going down with that, but I guess they've gotten that sorted out. So to me, Tampa Bay is a solid 3 right now, which leaves you with 2 top spots. Tough call. Very tough call. At number 2, I put the Calgary Flames. Malkin, straight no chaser, Stephen Liu, Elite Jr., Lennox, barely Jewish, even though I love him and he thinks he's the most interesting guy on earth, but he's a good defenseman. Let me see what else. Notorious is a solid goalie. I don't know why he's in TC. They just acquired Crosby. They're solid all over. My one question about this team, and I'll be honest. If Notorious falters, who's the goalie? Is it Edward? Is it One Lucky Lemon? I kind of questioned that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But this team will put up goals. They will do well. And overall, I think they're going to be solid. All right. Hold on, guys. We have someone on here that's spamming. I just banned this Van Trixie guy because he is spamming on my chat room here, so I apologize. And the number 1 team, and this is just based off my opinion, guys, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack for it, but I'm going to say this because I look at teams and I'm not biased, honestly. If you noticed, I didn't put Philly in the top 6, and that's just because I don't, I'm not going to say they are. The number 1 team in my power ranking is the Montreal Canadiens. The reason being, Slim Volcom, ridiculous. Greg White, solid goalie. Slavsky, even though Slavsky does hang on to the puck sometimes a little bit too much, he is starting to pass now. Carnegie is a good player. Anderson's a solid backup goalie. Big Boss is probably a premier winger that nobody really knows about yet. Satanic, good defenseman. Flippin' Remix, solid defenseman. And I'll be honest, guys. I know that you guys are going to knock on me for it, but I'm going to be honest. I predict Montreal to win the East, and I expect them to win it by over 10 points. And I'm going to be honest. There's no one that's close. No one. And you know what? They're telling me in the party they think that's exaggeration. I disagree. I don't think between you and I think they're going to score 5 goals a game average. And I'll be honest with Greg White, they're even with honestly, I know that, and now they're yelling at me in my ear saying, "What about the second line? That's questionable." And I'm going to tell you something. I played against their second line, and their second line can light it up as well. So listen, I know there's going to be some haters from Tampa. I know there are going to be some haters from New York. But I'll tell you something. New York, you were on my outside looking in. The only reason for that, and I'll be honest with you, is because you got good defensemen. But I'm not sold on the goaltending. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sold on your goalies. I know Shady is decent, but I heard Shady's playing wing this season. So if someone from New York wants to give me a call and tell me who the hell the goalie is, I'd love to know. Let me see here. But I guess now it's time for the call-in section of the show. So if you want to get in contact with me and flame me, tell me to go to hell, within reason, of course, you can contact me at VPHA_live on Twitch. Again, that's VPHA_live. So I'm waiting, guys. Who's going to be the first one to call? Not on Twitch. Actually, on Skype. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Skype. It's VPHA_live. And I'll make a addition to Montreal. I forgot to mention my buddy King Natsu, who is probably one of the best defensemen in the league. It's because I'm being harped because he's normally a goalie in other leagues. He can even play wing, but the guy is now taking a stab at D, and I'm hearing he's freaking amazing. So back to this. If you want to contact me directly and talk some hockey, go ahead and do it. I'm here. VPHA_live. Okay, Sean, I see you. You just friended me, so call me now. I know who that is. That's Killer 25. We gotta get our daily dose of Killer. I know that. I'm saying your name because I love you, bro. I know you're working, but you can still call. Go outside and call me. All right, so who's going to call me, guys? I'm waiting. Who's going to be the first? If you're the first, I'll break down your team player by player. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the first? I'm still waiting, guys. Here we go. Our first call. Welcome. You're live on VPHA tonight. Who is this?
Pro Middle Body.
Pro Middle Body from LA, right?
Yeah.
So what's up, middle body?
Hello. Yeah, it's
Tell me
really
what's.
odd having a kid on the show.
Oh, that's all right. What's going on with L.A.? Talk to me about L.A.
Well, I think we're a well-managed team. I'm not gonna go over the top with anything. Um, our team game looks good, very good to me, and I think we're gonna go far this season. But I don't want to guarantee anything this season so far.
Well, I think I said you guys are fifth in my ranking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think you guys could be a dark horse out of the West. I know Eichel can put the points up. Emery's a solid goalie. Don Juan, I know, plays D and goalie. Arcaro's a solid D man. I'm breaking down your roster, by the way. Brady's another good goalie. Corms is a solid D man. I think you guys have a chance. I just think it's gonna come down to me. My main thing with you guys is the depth on defense. As well as I know Emery's the number one if he's around. My question is who's the second goalie on this team? I know you. Why are you on TC? Out of curiosity.
Um, that's a question I cannot answer from management, so.
Hmm. Hmm. Is it something that you just don't want to share, or is it, I'm kind of curious now.
I don't know if my management wants me to share why or not.
Okay.
So.
That's cool.
I just want to be sure with them, so.
No. Listen, we're not here to get you in trouble, middle body. I look at it this way. You are, to me, a really, really good goalie. I look at you. Some teams you might even be a starting goalie. So to me, I kind of look at it and go, what's going on? But, from a standpoint, let's talk about LA. Well, I got you on the line. Tell me, who do you think is going to shine on LA and make a heck of a difference to a playoff push for you guys?
Well, I think Stahl and Emery are gonna be very good at goal this season. Because we have Stahl playing goalie sometimes. I know, yeah, like you said, Eichel's gonna put up a lot of points. And I think McKay is gonna get things started with us.
Yeah, McKay, to me, is probably one of the most underrated centers in this league. Because he doesn't only go up and pass the puck. He's a very good defensive center. And those are very hard to find. I would say McKay is probably a huge catalyst for you. I think McKay makes the team go. And I'm going to say it here first. I think McKay, excuse me, as you can hear, I'm hacking up a lung still. I think McKay will be top 5 in points this season. That's a bold prediction. I know there are a lot of good players in this league, but I'm going to tell you what McKay can do. McKay can dish that puck probably better than anyone I've seen. So that's a shout out from McKay at LA. Tell me about your defense, middle body.
We have a very strong defensive team. McKay wants us to move the puck on defense as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're a very strong defensive team, helping out the goalie.
All right, well, let me ask you, who are the key guys on defense? Who are the guys that you got to say, these guys need to perform for LA to make the playoffs?
Sveti.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, give me a second. Excuse me. Well, we're still looking at some other guys for defense, but from what I've seen Stahl play very good defense.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, I don't really know how to pronounce the gamer tag, Juan or something.
Don Juan?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen him play defense every once in a while, and he looks very good. Um, some people I still haven't seen play defense. But otherwise, yeah, I think we're a very strong defensive team.
Okay. That's interesting to hear. I think you guys are strong defensively. I'd just like to see another one or two defensemen on that roster. Just to kind of solidify and give you guys a little bit of depth. That's the main thing for you guys, I think. I think offensively, you guys can put the puck in the back of the net. I don't see any issue with that. And barely Jewish, show some respect to who's on the line. I'm not going to tolerate that. Okay? Honestly, to me, he's and I'll be honest, seeing you play, and I'll say this directly to barely Jewish. To me, middle body is a roster quality player. He can definitely play in the net and be consistent back there. But with that being said, middle body, what else do you want to add to the, say to the VPHA Nation about your team? If you had one thing to say, what would it be?
Well, this season I might not be playing goalie too, so.
Okay. Where are you going to play?
Well, they're practicing with me on offense as well to get me better, on there, so.
Like in a wing position or a center or what?
Like a winger, one of the wings.
Well, that's an interesting thing. That's interesting. I could see that. The main thing, dude, is, just working yourself back onto the main roster and getting some playing time. I think you're the type of player, as long as you're helping your team win, it doesn't matter. All right, but middle body, I'm going to cut it short. I got a couple other guys that are wanting to jump and be on the line, so I want to thank you for calling in, and don't hesitate to call in again, all right, man? You're welcome anytime. All right.
Bye, see ya.
Take it easy, dude.
You too.
That's pro middle body from Los Angeles, and I'm going to say this, guys. I don't care if a player is roster or TC. They deserve respect. And if you guys aren't going to respect, I'll definitely, the next time, and this is the warning, I'll ban you out of the chat box. So do not do that. Okay? Now, who else wants to call in? Who would like to call in? Let's hear from some people. I'm waiting, guys. Who's going to be next one? Come on, Killa. I know you're itching for it. On cue. Hold on. Killa, you there? Killa 25. I'll be honest. Killa 25 is probably one of my favorite interviews on this show because he has a ton of insight. So, Killa, talk to me. What's been going on, dude?
Well, in the league, you've seen since the draft, some of these teams that you've seen having stacked rosters have made a lot of trades and a lot of roster moves. So all the teams now have different looking rosters than they first started out after the draft.
Mm-hmm. And I know you moved, right?
Yep. I'm now on Minnesota, which I like it there now. It's more of a calmer play, and I get to play the left-sided defense now, which I'm normally used to playing, and they let me play a more two-way game instead of just having to sit back on D and chill on our half of the ice most of the time like I was. But I really like how our team is starting to turn out over here.
I think you have a solid roster. Honestly, I looked at your roster pretty hard, and you're kind of one of the ones outside looking in, and the only reason I would say that is that you got good leadership. When you talk about Heisman, Sneaky, and Z-Flag, my question on this team, I'm trying to look at my notes here, was I know Jimmy J Skull's good. I know you're good on D. I know Stonewall's good. The friend I haven't seen play. My question, like, besides you three, I'm like trying to see Unix is decent. You have four solid defensemen. My question is though, like, do you think this team can score enough to compete with the rest of the league? That's a question I'm posing to you.
If you look at our roster, we have a guy named ML Jesus, which I played a few games with. He played in our game against, I believe it was LA when we won 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all 7 of those goals preseason. I believe he could be one of the top forwards as he has been playing at the moment. And the problem is there's no problem with him. He can play with anybody right now. We've been playing him with complete someone he's never met before, someone he's never practiced before. Just threw him into a preseason game, he scores 7 goals.
So he's that good, huh?
He's that good.
Let me ask you this. Do you think he can carry you guys to a playoff spot offensively?
But if you look at our team, we don't need him to carry us by himself. We have a LG Husky line.
I know.
That consists of Casey, Savage, and Vpha, which that's the same thing that deals with both Jimmy J. Scott and Stonewall. All those guys played a full season LG with each other last year, chemistry, and they're all pretty good top forwards and top D-men that I believe are on our team right now.
Well, Killer, I know that. I'm just trying to get you to say that. That's what I'm trying to push you to say that.
I know. And I've been playing with Unix a lot lately, and me and him connect well. He plays more of a really good defensive defenseman. When I play that two-way, I can move the puck up the forward. He can also get the puck out of his own.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen LaFrenne play once yet. I have not played with him. That's the only thing I don't know about this team so far. But if we look at our goaltending too, we have Heisman and Killer Shot. And last night we played 7 games with Killer Shot. He only let in 2 goals in those 7 games and had 5 shutouts.
Which is impressive. That is impressive. So, you guys have a chance to have probably one of the best goalkeeping tandems in the league. Would you say that?
Of course, if you have going back-to-back with Heisman and Killer Shot, and if none of them can play, we also have High on Potnews on our TC that is very solid if we need him to step in if no one can show up.
Okay, Kill, I'm going to put you in the hot seat here.
All right.
If you had one team that you would say you're kind of fearful about right now in your conference, and say, okay, these guys are stacked, who would it be and why?
It's definitely Calgary. If you look at all the other teams, they're all pretty much middle-of-the-pack teams, just like us. But Calgary's roster, they have really good forwards that can definitely put the puck in the net, and it's going to be hard to defend. If you look at their management, all 3 of their management are really solid on the forward side. Then they have the first overall pick in Elite Junior, along with Lennox, 5 forwards right there that can totally destroy a team. Okay. The only thing that's really shaky about that team that I haven't seen so far is their goaltending.
And that was a question I had, because if Notorious right now, who's on TC, I'm trying to figure out, is it Edward who's playing or Lemon? Who's the main guy there right now?
Yeah, I've never seen Lemon play, but I've seen Edward, and he's pretty much a middle-of-the-pack goalie that he's there if you need him to, but he's not going to be anything spectacular,
Right. And the question is, I've seen him play. I'm going to say this on the air. He's a solid goalie. The question with Lemon is his consistency. If he shows up to play every night and he does what he needs to do, then you know what? I think he can be very good. But with that being said, it's how it is, Killer. You can have a team that comes out of nowhere and you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. That's what I'm starting to get from that Arizona team. They pretty much kept their same roster from the draft so far. You never know what they're going to do. They beat us in the preseason game. But they're really going to be something that might bring, mystery to a bunch of teams in the league. No one really knows about them. No one knows about their roster. They're going to surprise a lot of people, I guess.
I know a lot. I'll tell you something. I know a lot about their roster because here's the thing. All those guys on his roster, except for one or two guys, are his friends. He has played with them for years. So that's scary if you think about it, Killa. He's got some players there that nobody knows about, but I can tell you right now because I've seen them play. They're all very good. Um, and that's why I kind of put them in that sixth spot because here's the thing: if they if they get what I think Trevor thinks they're getting, they might be right on Calgary's heels, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Um, because they got Hattie who can score. Okay, Mr. Shell is solid. Pushy Lace to me is a top line defenseman. Chris's Clutch is a decent player. Yodes is a decent player. Nickel is insane in the net. Okay, and then you throw Matt Santi, who came out of TC out of luck. If anyone knows who Matt Santi is, he's solid as well. I don't know, man. I'll be honest. The West may be a dogfight.
Yeah, the West is definitely going to be a toss-up, but if you look at the East, they're going to be a really strong conference, in my opinion, too. They have three teams that are really powerhouse teams, I believe, in New York, Tampa, and Montreal. But looking at Montreal's roster, it's going to be a hard team for anybody in the league to beat. I mean, they've had some close games that could have turned one way or the other, but to beat them, you're really going to have to put your best six skaters on the ice.
And that's why, people in my party were like, they're not going to win the East by 10 points. I'm going to be honest. I think they can win by more. If everything falls right for them and everyone shows up and there's no issue, I don't know. I think they can do it. Now, Slavsky is saying I'm putting pressure on. I'm saying it's not going to happen. But I personally look at this roster, and I'm going to say this right now. These guys are good. They're good. No one wants to give them their due, but I'm going to do it. And I know you're the same way. You're objective with it. You know what I mean? You look at their roster, you know what I'm talking about, dude.
And I think they have the same problem as Calgary, though, with the goaltending. I've never seen Anderson play, but I have played a few games against Greg X. White, which he's nothing spectacular in my opinion either, but they do have King Natu that I've seen in other leagues get drafted in the first round and play very well during the season. But it looks like they'll be playing him at defense, but I don't know what they're going to do in that option there, but unless Anderson can really hold it down, their defense will have to be strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll tell you something about Greg X. White. I played in another league, and I was on a team that went against him. Greg White made 28 saves, 5 on cross creases, and stopped 3 top 5 forwards. Greg White, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be a top 3 goalie in this league. And I know that you guys are... I know you probably haven't seen him that much, but I can tell you he's consistent. And if you look at his numbers from preseason, and I'm pulling Montreal stuff up right now, he had 3 shutouts in the preseason. Killer. Greg White, playing in the net. So, that's impressive. 3 shutouts, and think about it this way. I know some of those guys were TC, but you got to look at it this way. I don't care if there's 5 shots on the net or 15 or 30 shots on the net. Even if you get 10 shots on the net, it's hard to get a shutout. You know?
Yeah, but the thing about the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, is it's a really unbalanced thing. There's 3 strong teams, and the other 3 teams are probably 3 of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion. So when the top teams are playing each other, yes, those are going to be toss-up games, but in the East, if it's an East team playing an East team, they're going to, of course, be playing all those other East teams more often, so they're going to get to play the other 3 teams that I think are not going to be able to hold it down or handle their own, and those are going to be easy wins, too, for them to be able to get back into what they've been doing and start to gain a streak and get some chemistry going and be able to defeat higher teams like, say, Tampa. If they're not having a good start to the season, they play a couple of those bad teams to get things going, then they play a team like Montreal, then you never know, they might actually defeat a team like Montreal really badly. after
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, I can see that as well. It's kind of tough to kind of call things right now because here's the thing: you can kind of look at a roster and say these guys are going to be good, but if they don't have the chemistry with each other, you
Yeah,
know
of
this.
course.
But you kind of got to go by what you see on the roster and what you've seen in the preseason.
The only problems that I see with New York not is they've had a couple of their players retire.
Mm-hmm.
One as Ross, which is a really good player, and
Right.
you never know what's going to happen from maybe Ross's friends retiring or whatever, and then you never know. Some of that team might fold, half the team might go away, and they'll have to pick up some other players, and that can be the change in making a top team to a bottom team right there.
You see, barely Jewish. I disagree with you. Tampa to me is a solid team, even without you. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
They're a solid team with having, of course, Julian and Shadowak on defense. I played with both of them. They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, like you said earlier, when you're doing your power rankings, is Category 5. He's a hell of a goalie, of course, but his availability for the first month could really destroy the team first half of the season, because the other goalies, like Warrior Hockey and I've never seen Sens Army, they're just like some of these other goalies, just middle of the pack goalies that can be there if you need them. But
Yeah.
offensively, they do have Checkit, which both play together. They both play together well. They've been playing
Mm-hmm.
together for a long time, I've heard. And they have Manship X91, which is best friends with the one guy on our team, Mo Jesus, that I said was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably expect to see the same thing out of him. And later,
I
that's
really
probably
think
why he got
Tampa
brought
can
up.
score, dude. I really think they're going to score some goals this season. I don't know why I'm saying, and I'll be honest. Same thing with Minnesota. I think you guys will light the lamp. I think you're going to score goals. I have Casey projected as a top 3 point getter in the league.
Casey's really good.
My thing is more about your team is, and this is just my thing. Do you guys come out night after night, and are you consistent? Because I know you can light the lamp. I know you have the defense. Okay? That's obvious. But my question to you is, do you think these guys can come out every night and put the puck in the back of the net, defend, and play good, solid defense, as well as keep the puck out? That's my question to you, Killa. Can they do it on a consistent basis?
Well, after the preseason games, we've had a lot of practice, and we got pretty much a good, solid 2 to 3 lines on forwards that can really play well together. I've seen Vpha play really well with Casey and Savage. All 3 of those guys together can be top scorers in the league. I've seen the GM Sneaky Daredevil. He's been playing hell of a good hockey. And if you have him playing with ML Jesus, that's also a scary lineup to be facing.
Yep.
And we have 4 strong defenders that I've seen with our one that I've told you, the LG Stonewall and Jimmy J, and then me and Unix. Those are 2 pretty solid defensive lines that could and our goalies, if you're alternating between Heisman and Killer, and I've seen a lot of the Killer and Heisman, that could really carry a team on that end too. If you put the good defense in front of them and you have people scoring goals, that'll win you games.
Look, I'm going to say this about Heisman, and people might not know who the hell Heisman is because, he's generally new to leagues.
Yep.
He's a solid goalie. I'm going to be honest. I think he can actually carry a team in the net. I'm not saying he can do it every night. I think he's going to need some help from the D. But if you get him on a night, when you get him in the net on a certain day and he's on, I can see him stopping 30 shots and a shutout. I can see that. And I also think between you and I, he's not a bad defenseman either. If you ever seen him play, Killa.
Yeah, I've played a few games with him. I really like playing with him too. On the right side, he's a very stay-at-home defenseman that can really play good defense in front of the net and also protect from the wraparound behind the net.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at our team, if you looked at this Minnesota team right after the draft, it'd be one of the teams that I'd say, no, I'd never want to play with the whole season. Some of the moves that they've made, and once I got over here, this is one of the teams I'd say, hell yeah, I'd want to play on this team probably the rest of the season without no changes. Heisman, he's a fairly new owner. This is his first time actually owning a team in a league, and I've really respect what he's done. And with the team, he's brought a team that pretty much everyone did not want to play for to a team that, yeah, if you get here, of course you're going to want to play here, and you might want to stay here too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree.
And for it being your first time as an owner and you do this with a team, that shows that maybe this is a job for you in other leagues, because he's built a team that went from a really bad team to a team that could make the playoffs and probably go far on a playoff run.
Yeah, I think he's done a hell of a job, repairing the roster and getting it to a point that I think they're going to compete for a playoff spot.
Yep.
I think that you guys have a very good chance doing it, getting there. To me, this season's going to be more about the grind in the sense of which teams come out every night and are consistent. I believe the most consistent teams will be the ones that make the playoffs, of course. And Killa, I think that you're going to be a big part of that success, because if you hold down the defense and not many shots are coming the way towards Heisman, I know it's going to depend also on your defensive partner. I'm not putting it solely on you, but I think defense is going to be the key to Minnesota. If the defense holds, you guys have enough firepower to score and win a lot of games. That's just my opinion.
The thing about consistency is, if you look at Minnesota's preseason, the first 3 days, well, not the first 3 days, the first 3 games on Sunday, I believe they won one of those games. But then once they got that one trade went through between Minnesota and Tampa that brought over me and Korean, after that we beat some teams that were in your top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We beat St. Louis, we beat LA, and when we played LA, we beat them with Jay Mackey and Eichel both on their first line, and we stopped them only having 1 goal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. Look, I'm not saying... Listen, remember, my power rankings is based off what I see off of, the whole season. When it comes down to it, I think any team in this league can beat any team, period. Okay? Honestly. There's enough talent that any team can come out and destroy a team. I'll give you an example. Montreal, when I was playing with Philly, I wasn't in the first game. Montreal wrecked us 6-1. The second game, we played with Philly, and it was a tighter game. It went to overtime, and we lost 3-2. So, you know what I'm saying? It can happen. Any team can beat any team. But that's just my opinion.
The preseason was a good prediction on what could happen. You see in blowouts, but then you see some of these top teams like Montreal having 1-goal games that day after day, those games could change to turning the other way, and it could be a 1-0 or a 1-goal lead for the other team that could win them that game. You never know. Yep. Any team is beatable, even if you look at the real NHL these days. Lower teams like my favorite team, the Edmonton Oilers, 27th in the whole league, but we beat the number 2 team in Dallas before. Anything could happen. Any team. We're all very good players at this NHL game. It just depends on who comes to play and who really wants it.
Yep, and I agree with that. And I think you guys, you hit it right on the head. And, I really think, Killer, between you and I think Minnesota is going to have a solid season. I think they're going to be very good. I think that you guys are going to surprise some people. It's just going to be one of those things that we have to wait and see, what happens with the season. Now, based off your preseason, I'll be honest, 7-5 is not bad for a preseason, That's actually pretty damn good if you think about it,
Especially because most of those games, people, you might have just got thrown in there playing with no one that you've ever known before. And if you win games like that, those are games that if maybe someone can't show up during the regular season, you get thrown into a game and you're a player that's versatile like that can play with anybody. That could actually be a big part to winning big wins during the regular season.
And here, I'm going to address this now because it's on my chat box, and I'm going to kind of say, okay, Crosby, you want me to talk about you? Let me talk about you briefly. Crosby, the person who claims that if he doesn't get traded to a specific team, he won't play. Crosby, the person who pretty much said when I got traded to Calgary, I'm not going to play. Let me explain this, Crosby. Earn your respect, and then I'll talk about you. Hashtag goal trader. That's all I have to say about that.
Can I say something about Crosby too?
Go ahead.
Crosby, in my opinion, is one of those people that you see. Of course, he's on top of the leaderboards, probably because he's cocky and he thinks he's good. But one night he was in one of our parties. He wanted us to trade for him one day, and I was in there. He sent us videos of him playing, but he's nothing spectacular because the only reason that he's on top of the leaderboard like that is because of playing 2s and 3s with one of his buddies and lighting up Division 10 clubs. I mean, if you're going to be cocky like that, at least be able to back it up. And he's a person that's pretty much cancerous to a team, in my opinion. He's going to get on there. He's one of those players that wants to play 12 games a league. And when you have players like that, no one's going to really want him. So I think he's going to be a TC player for the rest of the season just because of his attitude and how he acts.
And I'll just throw this out on the air as well, okay? If you're going to play center, and this is just my opinion, one of the key components to being a good center, and I don't know if you agree with me, Killa, but I think you will, is you need to win face-offs. You need to win face-offs. That's the most important thing. Would you agree with me, Killa, on that?
Yeah, of course. And you actually have to play on your side of the blue line. You just can't sit in the neutral zone and the other team's in zone the whole time either. And as I see in your chat box, there's one of Crosby's friends, which I probably think is Crosby at the moment, saying that he doesn't play 2s and 3s, but he sent me a couple videos trying to show me that he was good, and he was playing 2s and 3s in those videos.
Exactly. And then here's the thing I'm going to throw out there. And I'm going to throw out a shout out to my boy Albino Dyslexic, a.k.a. the real Germaniac, which he's not really Germaniac, but he's making fun of him. In the preseason game we played against him, Albino had a stat that was interesting. 33-2 in face-offs, and one of them was because it was a lag out. So I don't even count that because they let him win the face-off. So let's just say it was 33-1. So, I'm just going to say that. And I have it on video, Crosby, if you want me to put it up there for everyone to see, because I record all my games.
The thing is, when you get centers, they're pretty much your third defenseman, high guy in the offensive zone on offense. And if you're going to be losing all those faceoffs, like if you only win 2 faceoffs a game, that means you're losing a lot of them while in your own zone. And when you lose faceoffs in your own zone, that's giving scoring opportunities to the other team. So if you can't win faceoffs, you're not going to be able to possess the puck in the other team's zone and score goals.
Yep, exactly.
There's no time on attack if you lose faceoffs because you have to actually have the puck to be able to score goals, and you can't do that if you're losing the faceoffs and the team.
Yep, I agree. It's kind of hard to control the game when you're centering winning faceoffs. With that being said, Killa, I'm going to let you go because I do have one other person who's dying to be on here, and I'm going to put him on. Barely Jewish. Come on down. All right, Killa, I'll talk to you here in a little bit, brother, but thank you for your time again, as always.
All right, see you later, Gator.
All right, take it easy, man. That was Killa 25. I'll be honest with you. I think he's one of the most level-headed dudes when it comes to analysis. He definitely, in my opinion, gets it right. So, besides Greg White, which I kind of disagree with him on, but, that could be just because he hasn't seen him enough. But with that being said, let's get Barely Jewish on the line. Come on, Barely. It's VPHA_live. Come find me on Skype. I want to see. I'm giving you your chance, Barely. Who? Let's see what happens. Come on. I'm waiting on a call. Come on, guys. I'm sitting on Skype. Jewish is probably one of my other favorite interviews on this show because he is controversial as fuck. I'll put him up there like with Jerry Springer. Is this him? Let's see. You're live on VPHA tonight. Who am I speaking to? Why am I getting another call? Hold on, guys. I'm having technical here. I'm going to call this call that called me back first. See who this is. See if he answers. You're live on VPHA tonight. Who am I speaking to? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, this is Gator. Who am I speaking to?
This is Jewish, man. What's up?
What's up, Jewish? Talk to me.
How's it going, boys?
It's going good, man. I you on the chat box. So let's have a segment. We'll call it Venting with Jewish. All right? Go ahead. What's going on in life, Jewish? Tell me what you want to talk about.
In life, everything's good, but I think we should keep it to this league itself.
All right. Well, I'm talking about league life. Go ahead. Tell me what's going on with league.
League life is great, man. You know, I'm on one of the best teams in the league. I don't think that a lot of teams know how good we are, even though they are pretty scared, but they'll get the real of it very soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have a few haters out there who think I'm all talk, but that's fine.
I wouldn't say they're haters. I just think they're more like, okay, well, let's wait till the regular season and see.
I agree. I'm down for talk the talk and walk the walk as well.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you can or can't. I kind of think you guys are going to do very well. Number 2 in the power rankings, my power rankings. Like I said, the reason you weren't number 1, and I'll be honest, is I'm wondering what's going to happen with your goaltending situation. That's what kept you out of that top spot.
We've played some teams in the preseason, and honestly, even against Tampa Bay's top line, I'm just bringing them as one example, they had 10 shots on net in the entire game. I mean, if we hold opponent to 6 to 10 shots like I've seen us do, then I don't think goaltending is going to be that big of a deal. We got great goaltending, and I don't know. You'll see Lemon, you'll see Edward both take control. You guys, I don't know if you've seen most of them play, but
I've seen Lemon. And like I said this earlier, Lemon's a good goalie. My whole deal with Lemon is consistency. If he comes out and plays like I know he's capable of, he can be lights out. And I think you know this.
Also, it's small amount of shots a game, but he has to deal with just a little bit when other teams are facing 25 shots. You won't shoot 25 shots against us on defense. Not just me. I'm not even talking about just my defense pair. I'm talking about any defense pair on Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
You just won't. I haven't seen it. So unless, it could happen. There's crazy games out there, but most of the time it won't happen. I think the goaltending is more than enough than what we need for the amount of shots we're going to be facing. Okay,
so let me ask you this. If I had to put you on the spot, who is the one team that actually you go, okay, well, we got to watch out for these guys. There's this team that, that's going to this is the team that's going to compete with us.
I'd say Montreal is going to compete with us for sure because they have a lot of scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think Montreal is the only one that has scoring, that has really good scoring. I don't know about their defense too much, but I know they have really good scoring.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree with that. I think they can light the lamp.
We've seen it happen. They're a good team. They're a good team. There's no doubt.
You know what? I got a question for you now. I'm kind of curious, and this is league related. I'm just kind of throw it out there. And I like to do this from time to time, especially with players that I respect in the sense of, I know you're a very good player. Talk to me a little bit about your former team, Tampa Bay. What do you think they're going to be about this season?
I don't know, man. I know that their GM quit. I know that one of their top line guys, Aaron,
mm-hmm.
They have. And I'm not gonna lie and say they don't have great defense. They have great. Julian is amazing, I think, on the right side. I think McKnight is a good right defenseman. I think Shalak is a great left defenseman.
I don't know who else they have as their second left defenseman right now. I don't know, but I mean, defensively they're definitely good. But I don't know about the scoring, man. I know that Manchip used to be great. I know that an LG kind of, got waived and shit, but I don't know if that has to do anything with this league. But in general, I'm just saying, I know he used to be a great player. I don't know how great he is anymore. Scoring is going to be an issue. You said before that you think I agree with them scoring a lot. I know that they're going to have close games, but they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be more than fine.
I got a number here looking at the preseason numbers, and I'm just pulling them up, so give me a second. Tampa averaged in the preseason 4.4 goals a game. Now, I'm going to ask you this. If they average 4.4 goals a game, do you think that's enough for them to to be in the playoffs?
They'll be in the playoffs. I don't have a doubt they're going to be in the playoffs. I say second place in their conference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they're going to be any higher than that. I think Montreal is definitely going to win the first place in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but second or third place, I can see it. No doubt. Second or third.
No, it's kind of
Full
fun.
move playoff once it gets there.
Yeah, of course.
About all that, but I mean.
So let me.
And I just want to give out a little shout out to Elite Junior from my team. Man, that guy is a fucking crazy guy. Sorry about the language.
Is that Elite Carl that I'm seeing here on the
He's
chat?
great. Yeah, he's so good.
Oh, I seen him play.
That guy can score.
I've seen him play, and I think he's a good player. Well, you have to be drafted first. Let's be honest. So, all right. Let me ask you this, Barely keeping yourself out of the equation. Okay, if you had to pick, and I'll put you there. I'll say you're one of the top 5 defenders in this league. Okay, but if you had to pick 5 defenders that you would say, okay, these are the top 5 in this league, besides yourself, who would they be?
Ooh, that's a bit on the spot. Okay, I have to take a look at the rosters, so I'm going to pull it up here.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm going to put you on the spot because, you're a D-man, so I think one of the things I want to see is, your opinion on things.
Let me just... I like Coffee Time. I think he's a great defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll give him top 5 because I don't know too many guys in this league. Kind of new to me, this league, but I think Coffee Time is a great right defenseman. Like I like Julian and Chad. I like both in top 5.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Let me see here. I just have to take a look at these rosters. I'm going to put my boy Killa in there. I'll put my boy Killa in there. And then obviously, I'm going to put Merck in there. My buddy Merck from the team.
What about Natsu?
About who?
King Natsu.
King Natsu, I don't know. I haven't played with him too much. I don't really know. Doesn't he play goalie? I thought he plays goalie.
He does, but he's also a lights-out defenseman. He's a lights-out defenseman, honestly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Valorous is not bad, but I don't know. I haven't really seen him too much either. I just played against him a lot, not really ever with him. So it's hard for me to judge people.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I kind of put you at in the spot there, but I wanted to just see your opinion. I'm gonna say, and I'll throw myself on the spot right now, and I'll kind of give you my top 5, okay? And I'll include you on this.
The real top 5.
My top 5. I'm gonna say at. You know what? I'm gonna say at number 5. I'm gonna put one that you didn't mention there. FSTX McKnight. He's solid.
Yeah.
He is.
He was on my previous. Played with them though. Really, I played with them one game, I think.
I'd say he's definitely worthy of top 5. I'm gonna say Julian at 4. I'm gonna put you at 3. I'm gonna put and this is nothing. I just have a thing. I like between you and I like the defenseman that is more aggressive. So I'm gonna give Shadalak the nod at 2. And the number 1 guy to me, and this is just my opinion, is King Natsu. I've seen the dude play in that preseason game, and the dude had, I'm going to give you a stat. He had 18 freaking pokes on Philadelphia. And Shadalak had 20 against Philly. That's the funny thing. But Natsu had 18, dude. And the sad thing about Natsu, dude, and I'm going to tell you, he wasn't even trying to hit. He was just containing. And that's one thing. If I see Natsu hit, Natsu is really, really good, dude. Honestly, he's gonna shock some people. He's known as a goalie, but he's gonna shock some people on D. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I think this is with great grab taps. You that's not aggressive. If you have an aggressive defenseman and you have another aggressive defenseman on the same line, nobody's gonna be there for the puck.
Right.
I mean, this game is very different than real life. I mean, the puck will fly anywhere on the ice, and it will just pop into places nobody thinks. If you have 2 guys going for hits, then the puck is just in the net, or is it right to the other guy's stick, or anything of that. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's almost, in a way, it's almost like damn Ultimate Team if you think about it. You need to have, I believe in my opinion, you need to have one aggressive, defenseman and one like defensive defenseman that stays at home. I think that's the best combination. But that's me.
Sure.
Like, it's like, and I'll just throw this out there with Philly. We have a lot of strong defensemen that are, that like to hit. And, sometimes like we give up the odd man rush and that hurts us. But, it's one of those things where I just kind of look at it. Oh, and I forgot. Yeah, I'll give Merc Cheap Shot in there as well. Like, Merc Cheap Shot is solid.
Yeah, when
Honestly, he's probably right there. Yeah, I agree with Merc. I missed him, Merc. I'm sorry about that, buddy. It's just one of those things. I think between you and I, whoever has the best defense is gonna win it all. That's just my opinion, because I think defense wins the damn league. Like you said, you can have an average goalie but a great defense, and you can be great. But if you have a shitty defense and a great goalie, you can still be bad.
Right. I agree. I didn't put one guy in there. I don't know if...
Who?
He's another guy from our team, Avenged. I don't know if you've ever played with him.
Yes, I have.
You can barely cross the blue line when he's on the defense, man. It's so hard to get on to the ice when he's there. His pokes are really good. And he hits. He's defensive, but he hits.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. If I had to put a sentence about Calgary, and I was going to say this, Calgary will blank. What will it be? What would you say about your team? Calgary will make it up.
Destroy.
Huh?
I said destroy, but I'm just playing.
I'm halfway expecting you to say, and this is my opinion, Calgary will win the Stanley Cup. That's what I was thinking you might say.
That's too early. Hey, I'm just not going to say it right now. That's too much. I guess with confidence that Calgary will be fighting for the Stanley Cup, for sure. They'll be in there. They'll be in the playoffs, in my eyes.
Well, I agree.
Let's talk 3 weeks. Let's talk about 3 weeks into the season. Then I'll have more an evaluation of how teams are doing and everything.
You know, why don't we do this? In 3 weeks, you come up with a set of power rankings, and we'll do that on the air based on the 3-week performance. How does that sound?
Sure. I'm down for that. That sounds great.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I have to let you go. I got a couple other people trying to get on the line as well. But as always, you're welcome anytime, dude. I have no problem with you. And honestly though, the reason I was busting on you in that shout box earlier was because, dude, I'll be honest, he is a roster quality player. There's just a kind of a shuffle on that roster right now. So that's why I kind of said that.
I was saying that he was on TV. I wasn't really saying anything more than that.
Okay.
Like his name is on the TC from what I saw on the rosters. But anyway, that's fine. We'll talk in a couple of weeks for sure, and I'll tell you exactly my power ranking in a few weeks.
All right.
But till then, shout out to all my guys in Calgary, and let's go season 1.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, dude.
No problem.
That is, of course, Barely Jewish. It's kind of interesting when you hear what he has to say. And I have to agree. Some of the things he says, I agree with wholeheartedly. Crosby on the line. Why? Let me ask you guys. It might be interesting. It might be interesting because you guys know how I am. Should we bring Crosby on the line? What do you guys think? Let's hear it in the shout box. I'm saying. No, I know. Let's see. Follow me on VPHA_live on Skype if you want to talk. I'll give you an open floor. I'll give you 2 minutes to talk. Not a word from me. Let's see. Let's see if he calls, guys. I can't make him call. I can only invite him to call. Let's see. Also, we also have I know Kevin from Skype. If you're on as well, I'll get you in, man. I know you were trying to get in before. Let's see. Anybody want to get on? I think Crosby's going to be a no-show. Anybody. Come on, guys. This is your open floor because I got to get off soon because I have other obligations. I'm cutting this at 3 o'clock. So, if you have... I'd like to hear from other teams as well, you know? Yeah. Well, I guess I'm killing a little dead air here. I kind of also want to... Oh, wait. Here comes Kevin Jones. Okay, hold on. Let's see who this is. You're live on VPHA tonight, or should I say the abbreviated version of VPHA this afternoon. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's actually Kazamune.
Hey, what's up, Kazamune? What's up with you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Gator?
I'm doing good. So, tell me about this. Tell me what's going on, man. What's going on in your world right now?
Well, I mean, over here at Tampa, after all the trades that we fully rang off, I heard you said something about our goaltending when we were doing power rankings.
Yes.
I mean, Category 5 is our starter, but then you got to remember that there's Bishop, which is a great goalie himself. You got me, and you also have Sens, who's only a goalie.
Right. Well, I've never seen Sens, so that might be part of it. You know, I know Category 5 is lights out, though. I will tell you that. I have a lot of respect for the dude. You know, and that's the one thing you'll learn about me, guys, is I hope you guys think I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form. If you try to notice, I try to keep things, you know, from my team at a minimum, just because I don't really think this is about me or my team. This should be more about you guys, you know, and what you guys bring to the table. With that being said, tell me, where do you think Tampa will end up in the East this season?
I can damn near guarantee that we're going to be top 3 easy. The only teams that I'm honestly worried about, in my opinion, are probably Montreal, because you got the owner, the GM, and the assistant manager all have been playing together for probably years. And, I mean, they're all Frenchies. They have that French connection, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Got Calgary, because of the new players they acquired, like Crosby. Even though he's a twos player, He might be a little puck hog, but I mean,
Well, here. I'm going to say this
Yeah,
right
but
now.
behind
I'm going to put Crosby on the spot right now. Crosby, if you're listening, are you going to play for Calgary? That is my question. If you are going to play for Calgary, put that on the shout box. I want to see you say it so the VPHA Nation sees it. Because, you talked to me about you're not going to play unless you go to Tampa. That's what you said to me. So I kind of want to kind of see it.
but aside from Calgary, the only is LA Kings. Everyone thinks bad about them, but I mean, if you look at their lines or their roster, I mean, they have a stacked team if they can use it right. Especially with McKay. He's very good, and he can blend well with damn near anyone.
Well, you would agree with me there. I have a lot of respect for McKay, to be honest with you, because he's a very he's a very good defensive center. He's one of those guys that will come back and cover that slot as well as win you enough faceoffs. He does all the dirty work that a lot of centers don't do, And I think that's a big deal in this league because I think that's going to lead to a lot of assists. It's going to lead to a lot of turnovers from other teams in the defensive zones, which is going to lead to a ton of breakouts. That's just my opinion,
Yeah. Here's a question in my opinion. I see that you requested a trade. Mm-hmm. Since you are a goalie, who do you think your top 5 goalies in the league are?
Ooh. All right, but I won't mention myself because I don't like to play bias, okay? So top 5.
No, out of respect, you never put yourself.
Right, okay. Hold on. Let me just start this game up and I'll look at the rosters because I have to kind of look to be objective. I'm going to say, and I'm not going to put them in any specific order.
You can't do that with goaltending. You can't put them in their order.
I'm going to say Nickel 987 is going to surprise some people. I'm going to put him in my top 5. I'm going to put Emery in my top 5 if he plays enough games. I don't know what's up with his work schedule. That's going to be a tough one. Let me see. Greg White will be in the top 5. Let's see. As I look through rosters. Well, we already know category. I'm not going to even go into that. I'm trying to see who stands out to me. I'm going to say this, but this is if he plays goalie. This is a big if. I'm going to say Shady 5545 from New York is going to surprise some people. This dude, I'm going to give you some background on Shady. He plays in the XOHL, and he actually had, I believe, the second lowest goals against, and I believe it was the second highest save percentage in that league. So he's more than capable if he plays.
How good New York does.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that they were doing good in preseason.
And then
they were doing pretty good in preseason. They had a lot of nice chemistry I've seen. Mm-hmm. It's just trying to figure out who blends well the best with each other.
And then the last goalie and my final nod, if I had to give one, and it's also going to depend on how much he plays. Seaward. Ward is solid in the net for Carolina, the owner.
Yeah, Seaward is a great goalie. I definitely had him in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about all the trades? Since so many trades happened this year, what do you think about that?
Well,
I thought there were a lot of trades during preseason.
Well, here's the thing. Normally, I would think it's a good thing, but the of it was with Boston, with the original Boston crew moving stuff back and forth with certain teams and kind of trying to stack their own roster. I didn't like that, But I think that there are a lot of good trades as well. Like one of the things I'm kind of shocked at, and I'll give you one that stands out to me, Culver in TC for New York goalie. That shocks me a little bit. Culver, if you're familiar, I don't know how familiar you are with Culver, but Culver is a solid goalie.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've played a lot with my account, but I mean, I just use this account for. I'm blending over to a new account just for leagues.
Right. So you're familiar with Culver then?
Yeah.
So,
I'm just not a big fan of how many trades happen because throws away chemistry.
yes.
Like, it takes more than a day or two to blend chemistry with another player. I mean, with all the trades that have been happening, it seems like everyone plays with someone one day and they're like, he's not going to blend with us at all, and just dump him on the team,
Yeah.
hoping that someone can blend right away.
But here's the thing I'll give you, okay? And here's an interesting number. With the whole issue with Boston accounted for 53% of the league's trades before the management group was removed. So if you take away that 53% of Boston's trades, there were only 37 trades that were pretty much not Boston trades. Which, if you take that number, isn't bad, you know? To be honest with you. 37 in the preseason, you got to think about it. A lot of these were TC moves, you know? Like, I want this guy from TC for this guy.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, you know, I'm going to say this. I think there was movement and a lot more than what I would have liked, but that was because of what was going on that we've addressed now. I expect the moves to be cut down quite a bit once the season starts. I'm not saying there aren't going to be any moves, but I think there'll be less, you know, than what we've been accustomed to. You know, so let me ask you something that to put you on the spot with your own team here. When you look at your team, if you had to pick out one player and say this guy is going to be a huge impact for our team, who would it be?
It's most likely going to be Shadowlash.
I could see that.
Watching him on defense, he's great at shutting people down. He doesn't let up many breakaways. And he's just offensively gifted, so great. Like, all of a sudden, he'll get the puck at the blue line and just skate it in. And our team does so well with covering the points that all our defensemen can do whatever they want while still being covered by one of the forwards.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I think he's going to be one of the biggest impacts on our team.
Well, let me throw another one at you. Who, if you had to throw an offensive player impact, who would that be? Who's the guy?
Our guy is probably going to be Bishop. He can blend well with damn near anyone. He's good by himself, even though he doesn't have to be good by himself.
You want to know? I kind of disagree with you there. I think Bishop is good, but I think you're
down and gritty in the places.
Yeah, but I think one main guy you're going to have to look at, there are two guys in my opinion. Lauchek is huge. If he scores a ton of goals, you guys will be awesome. The other guy, and I kind of call him the dark horse of your team, Resnick. If Resnick steps up and gets you 50 or 60 points on a second line, you guys will be fine. Honestly, because I know Resnick he's a pro, dude. I know a lot of people look at him and go, okay, well, he's not the best, but it's kind of funny. Resnick shows up for games. And I can tell you this from my own personal experience. I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it again. Resnick will be the type of guy who'll get you 60 points and be about plus 15 to plus 20. I guarantee you that.
Well, I'm hoping he does that good.
But that's just my opinion.
I'm looking forward to this season in the Vpha.
Yeah, man. And honestly, I'm looking forward to. Yeah, looking forward to Tampa. I'm playing against Tampa as well as all the teams in the East and West. If you had one thing to say to the VPHA Nation, about just your team in general. Like if I'm going to give you the same question I gave Jewish. Tampa Bay will be blank. What would you say? What would be that word or group of words?
The team to beat.
Tampa Bay will be the team to beat. That's that's a bold statement, but I like it. I like it, to be honest with you.
If you're gonna go for it all.
Exactly. With that being said, guys, it is 3 p.m. As Moon, thank you for coming on. You're welcome to come on whenever you want, dude. All right? Just call in.
Yep, sounds good.
Wait a minute. Before I do get off the line, I'm going to do this as well. Since it is 3 o'clock, I'm going to give Crosby till 3:03 to call me on Skype at VPHA_live. I don't fear anybody, guys. Crosby, come on. And Kazamoon, I'll let you go, buddy. All right? I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
So everyone understands this. I do not fear Crosby. So Crosby, come call. I'm giving you your chance in front of everybody. 3:03. If you think you've been misunderstood, I want to hear it. If you think you're better than everyone else in this league, let me hear it. If you just want to BS me and talk shit to me, I'd love to hear it. I'm staying silent right now. It's 3:01. I'm going off my computer, guys. 3:01 right now. Because I would love to make this longer, guys, but we also run a soccer league, and they have games at 4:30 today, so I have a lot of work to do as well. So, I don't want you, Crosby, listen, I don't want you to talk shit, but I'm saying you have the open floor to do what's the thing. VPHA_live. I'll even give you the 3:04, Crosby. So you have the 3 minutes now that you have the Skype name. And honestly, this game is still going on. So what I'll do is I'll just wait for this game to end. Okay, he says 1 sec. So let's see what happens, guys. I want to hear from Crosby. Anyone want to put up some questions that I should ask Crosby? Go ahead. Let me hear from the VPHA Nation. Sparkly, I know you got a question or two. Come on, put them up. I'm waiting, Crosby. I'm waiting. I'm just saying this. I already assigned players to a new team last night. Anyone else that went in, I'm going to do another little random assignment at 5 o'clock. But that's about it, guys, for randoms. Wait a minute. It is him. The famous Crosby is calling. Welcome to VPHA Tonight, Crosby.
Hey, what's up?
All right, so I promised you your time. Go ahead, man. All yours.
I don't know what to say, bro.
Well, talk about your situation. I know you weren't happy, so talk.
I just want to be put on. That's basically it.
Okay, well,
Like they grabbed me to put it on TC, so like I don't know, try being in that position,
Well, that's the thing. Wait, I got a question from Sparkly C4, and I think it's a very important question. And I think Calgary's management is going to agree with this. Will you play for the Calgary Flames?
Yeah, I will if they give me the chance.
Okay. Listen, I know the management group from Calgary, and I'm going to tell you, they will give you a chance. I already know this.
Yeah.
All I would do, and this is my personal opinion, and Chaser, if I'm wrong, please tell me, because I know you're on the chat box. But if you go and talk to Straight No Chaser or Pit X Malkin and just say, listen, I want to play, Can we run some club games? I know you play clubs all the time, dude. I get the messages from you saying, hey, I even got the one from New Year's, where you're like, Happy New Year. We're playing 2s or 3s right now. Come join the club. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, lately I've kind of changed to bigger
Yeah.
numbers for the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and this is directly from Straight No Chaser. Directly, and I will read it. We'll definitely give you a chance, Crosby.
All right.
So, that's what I'm trying to clear up here. Listen, I have no problem.
It was just a shit show in Boston.
Well, it was a shit show because they were manipulating their own roster. That's what the shit show was.
Yeah, wasn't a good sight.
The thing is, you got to remember, it was the old management group. The new management, I'm going to be honest, they're kind of in a tough situation right now. But I think that they're going to pull it through. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think they're going to surprise some people. But let's talk about what you're going to do. What if I had to give you, okay, if I had to go ahead and say Crosby gives your team this, what would you tell the VPH and A Nation? What does Crosby add to a team?
Put me on the spot. Jeez. I don't know, a solid defensive third man D center that can make plays and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, with going to Calgary, I'll be honest, Calgary's a solid team. Have a very talented roster, so So, I'll be honest, I think you're going to fit in well there, dude. That's just my opinion. Look, I have respect for you. I have nothing but respect, but
Oh, thanks.
you gotta remember this, okay? When it comes down to it, and I know we had our messages and our issues back and forth on Xbox, but I need you to realize, man, I'm just trying to run the league here. If you tell me you're not going to play, I got to treat you just like every other player, and I hope you realize that. It's nothing personal against you or how you play or what you do, but when it comes down to it, I have to do what's best for the league.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
let me ask you this. I got a question for you. When you play clubs, and I'm kind of curious,
Yeah.
I know you know a lot of top guys. I know that.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Julian's really good.
That's what I was going to say. If you had to name some guys from the league, I know you know a lot of them. Who would you say are like top guys in this league that you can say that have the stamp of approval from Crosby?
The stamp, definitely Julian. I played club with him before. He was a beast. The Ty off Boston, he was pretty good too. He's number 7 sniper. He's pretty good. King is pretty good too. King Nuts.
King Natsu? Mm-hmm.
I'm not even looking at anything. I'm just going off the top
of your head, of course.
Yeah.
I got a question from Sparkly C4, and I don't know where this is coming from, but I'll ask it. He's like, if you were on Carolina, would you play for them? I guess what these guys want to know more than anything is, if you were on a bad, and I'm not saying a bad team, but if you were on an average team, would you be willing to stick on a team to help them rebuild?
Like nice guys that are willing to try and stuff like that?
Yeah, nice guys that are willing to try, that are willing to work.
I'd be down.
Okay. So...
I'm willing to work my way up.
Well,
just Boston was... they didn't work together. Just fighting in games and shit like that.
Yeah, and I understand that. And look, I'm not trying to say, there's any negativity towards you, dude. I'm just reading off what's on the chat box right now, just trying to get you some, some actual, questions as well. But, what I'm saying is more than anything, dude, is, you're on a good team. I'm going to be honest. You're on the projected, on my power rankings, the number 2 team in the league, right behind Montreal.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
They have a lot of talent overall. And, I think that Straight No Chaser, I know him, he'll give people a shot. It doesn't matter what the reputation is. He kind of judges you on your play and how you fit in with his team,
Yeah, that's fair.
So, one of the things I'll say to you, Crosby, is you got a good management group there that's going to take a look, and I can guarantee you, I know they're going to like what they see. So,
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
what I'm hoping.
But, let me ask you this. Like, I know you play center, but do you play wing as well? I'm kind of curious. Can you play the winger position or no?
Ye- not really, but I can play it, but I don't shoot. I don't
You don't like
to.
it as much.
I like playing I like getting back, being the third man D type thing.
Okay.
I would I know they probably have goalies, but I would be the odd goalie if they really, really needed me.
Well, I don't know what their goalie situation looks like
Yeah,
right
but
now, so that
just
might be a
giving
possibility.
it out.
You just talk to them, and tell them how it is, and see what they
Yeah.
need. That's what I would do. Overall, honestly, like Julian saying it, he's a good player. Honestly, you need to give him a shot, which Straight I know definitely will give him. It's because Straight is a stand-up guy. That's coming from Julian.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Thanks.
that kind of gives you an idea where, with that being said, Crosby, I don't want to cut it
man.
short, but I have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
let's do this, okay? Next show, which will be next Saturday, why don't we have you on as the first guest on Saturday, and you can tell us how things are going with Calgary. How does that sound?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be good. Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Crosby. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely catch up with you.
Everyone thinks.
All right. Have a good time.
Thanks. See you.
All right, guys. With that being said, I'm going to head out. You guys listening in, of course. I think you guys are great. And I will talk.